we are counting down the top 10 craziest things Bill Gates owns. Number 10. Before we even look at help Bill Gates stock his mansions, let's look at the houses themselves. Gates has exactly the kind of real estate portfolio you would expect from a billionaire, from a Washington mansion worth $123 million to multiple horse ranches across the U.S. Gates spends most of his time at his 66,000 square foot mansion in Medina, Washington. It took Gates 7 years and $63 million to build this behemoth of a house, which is filled with lots of high-tech features. He purchased a lot for $2 million in 1988, but is now worth an estimated $123 million on top of this. Number 9. Next, let's look at the crown jewel of Gates property portfolio, Xanadu 2.0. It shouldn't be too surprising that one of the wealthiest people in the world also have an insanely extravagant home. It took Gates 7 years and $63 million to build his Medina, Washington estate, Maine Xanadu 2.0, after the fictional home of a citizen, Kane's Charles Foster. Kane, at 66,000 square feet, the home is absolutely massive, and it's filled with high-tech details. He reportedly pays around $1 million in property taxes each year. To give you an idea of the scale, 500,000 board feet of lumber was needed to complete the project. The house was built with 500-year-old Douglas fir trees. 300 construction workers labored on the home, 100 of whom were electricians. The house uses its natural surroundings to reduce heat. Los Xanadu 2.0 is an earth-sheltered house, meaning that it's built into its surroundings to regulate temperature more efficiently. In addition, an enormous reception hall could accommodate up to 200 guests. Number 8. Now that we know about the host of properties that Gates owns, let's look at how he outfits them to match the lavish lifestyles of a billionaire as part of his massive Washington estate. Gates has an elaborate series of pools. They begin with a gentle waterfall in a natural lagoon that cascades into a 60-foot pool. There's a 3,900 square foot building just to hold this particular pool. And as if this wasn't crazy enough, people in the pool could swim underneath a glass wall and come up to a terrace area on the outside. There's also a locker room with showers, 2 baths, and includes a fossil motif floor. The pool is also equipped with a state-of-the-art underwater music system so that guests never need to take a break from their favorite tunes, even as they swim. This is an extension of Gates' guest preferences system. When a guest arrives, they're given a pin that interacts with sensors in each room in the house. Depending on their preferences for the temperature, music, and lighting will change in the house. Number 7. One of the more interesting features of this house is the flat panel displays behind the picture frames that respond to the pin each a guest wears to provide art that is consistent with their interests. The artwork on walls can be changed with just the touch of a button situated around the house, or $80,000 worth of computer screens. Anyone can make the screens display their favorite paintings or photographs, which are stored on devices worth $150,000, and guests are asked to input their favorite artists and stylists when they enter the house. But if they are running short on time, it's possible to find out if they would enjoy based on more general demographics like a gender and level of education. But Gates don't only own digital artwork. Number 6. In a recent interview with Ellen DeGeneres, Gates revealed that he had only felt he'd made 2 extravagant purchases since becoming a billionaire. His most extravagant by far was a private jet. Gates had previously referred to his private jet as a guilty pleasure and big splurge. It's been widely reported that he owns a Bombardier BD 700 Global Express with seating for up to 19 people and a $40 million price tag. The Global is the business jet with the second largest cabin after the Gulfstream G650. It can accommodate 12 to 16 passengers in 3 cabin sections, mostly a forward for chair club section, essential for seat conference grouping, and an aft 3-place to vent. Number 5. The only other item that Bill Gates considers a luxury purchase to be his Porsche that he bought soon after becoming a billionaire. Bill Gates, the Porsche 959 in silver, is one rare beauty. Gates first purchased the Porsche 911 Turbo in 1979, and rumor has it that he was pulled over quite a few times in the blue sports car. Porsche even officially changed the name of the car to the Gates 959. The Porsche 959 was the most impressive car to come out of the German automaker's doors, and quite possibly the greatest car of the 80s. This twin-turbo supercar came equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission instead of the normal 5-speed. Number 4, those familiar with Gates' habits know that he is a voracious reader. He has a stunning library to match the 1,200 square foot. The library has a dome roof and 2 secret bookcases, including one that reveals a hidden bar on the ceiling. You'll find a quote from The Great Gatsby that reads, "He had come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dream must have seemed so close that could hardly fail to grasp it." The library is also home to the Codex Leicester, a 16th century Leonardo da Vinci manuscript the Gates bought at auction for $30.8 million in 1994. Number 3. Bill Gates loves his daughters and indulged them one lish when they were growing up. Imagine their delight when he revealed that they had an entire room dedicated to trampolines. Much like an indoor gymnastics facility, the girls could jump and play at any time of the day or night. The kids like that. I recommend it. It's a room with a very high ceiling, Gates told Ellen DeGeneres. And keep in mind that this is only a tiny fraction of the family's total exercise space. The exercise facilities totaled 2,500 square feet and also include a sauna steam room and a separate men's and women's locker rooms. This is all in addition to a large series of basketball and tennis courts. And of course, Bill Gates' legendary pool sounds like a pretty delightful home to grow up in. Number 2. Gates lost his anonymity long ago, so it's difficult for him to get far away from his fame and fortune in order to get away. He had a stream and beach installed on his property. The stream and wetland estuary was created to solve any problems with runoff that the property's large walls might have created. The water is kept stocked with salmon and sea-run cutthroat trout. He also has a miles-long beachfront installed on his property with sand imported from the Caribbean. Number 1, and perhaps the most extravagant thing Gates owns, is a private wealth fund. Though much of his finances are still tied up in Microsoft, he started a wealth fund with the intention of protecting the environment, breakthrough energy, to invest $1 billion into radical energy startups capable of drastically cutting global emissions. The fund draws on the resources of billionaires like India's Mukesh Ambani, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Virgin's Richard Branson, Alibaba's Jack Ma, and SoftBank's Masayoshi Son. This is in line with his Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, through which he has pledged to give away the entirety of his fortune. Within his lifetime, the foundation has already given away $30 billion over the last few decades.